welcome back to another TMI Girl Talk, but today we are doing a TMI Feminine Hygiene Girl Talk because you guys have been wanting this and I can't believe it's taken me this long to make this video. You guys sent in a bunch of feminine hygiene juicy questions that you're too afraid to ask your mom or your friends, but don't worry because I am here to answer them all. These conversations are so important to have. I mean, I wish I had an older sister that I could have these conversations with, so that's why I am here to be your big sis, because if you've been watching my videos then you know that no questions are off the table. I am an open book, and yeah, I can't wait to talk about this. I love this topic so much. Before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on all my social media platforms where I give inspirational content and give my 2 cents on life. The first question is, how do I prevent ingrown hairs and bumps after shaving? I was someone who would always shave my armpits in high school, and it would literally just leave red bumps everywhere, and I was just like embarrassed to shave. I still shave my underarms and my legs by myself, which I'll give you guys tips on that. But for my kitty, you guys, I get a Brazilian wax, which I highly recommend, or getting a laser removal if you are brave enough. But that is just one less thing I have to worry about when it comes to shaving, and I feel like that area itself is a lot harder to maintain. So I think getting a Brazilian wax just makes it easier and smoother, and it prevents itching. Before, I always make sure that the skin is clean, and I also make sure to exfoliate that part before I shave it as well. I use this brand called KP Bump Eraser to exfoliate my entire body. I do this every time before I shave, and I always use a clean razor, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I throw away my razor as soon as I use it because it just feels like the blade is getting really dull, and I just kind of feel gross using it again later on. And also make sure that whatever shaving cream you use is good for your skin, because I realized that I have sensitive skin growing up. Depending on the type of shaving cream I use, it will make my skin a lot more inflamed and red afterwards. And especially for your armpits, make sure you're shaving in different directions. If you shave against the grain too much, it causes a lot of friction and causes those ingrown hairs. If you are shaving against the grain but also in a different direction as well, it allows for a smoother finish. And this has really changed the game for me. And another tip is to make sure you're wearing loose clothing and just not doing anything that's gonna continue rubbing your skin after you shave, because it is super sensitive. Long term, I do think I would want to get laser removal, but I'll keep you guys updated if I ever do that because I'm a little bit scared. Tips for acne prone and oily skin, and just how to clear your acne in general. The reason why I chose this particular question is because I have acne prone and oily skin, and I feel like it's a little bit hard for me to tell you how to clear your skin based on a skin type that I don't have. I highly recommend looking at videos from people with that particular skin type. I have been able to clear my skin significantly and maintain it a little bit, so I'm gonna give you the tips on how I do that. You're gonna have to do a lot of trial and error. I rarely ever add new products into my routine when it comes to makeup and my skincare, anything that goes on my face. But if I do decide to add it, I will test it out for a week, and I will only test one product at a time, because you don't want to test multiple products because then you won't get a clear answer of what is gonna cause you to break out. And I also do a lot of trial and error with the type of food that I eat, because I realize for me, dairy definitely makes me break out like crazy. Your skin goes way beyond the products you use. It is all about what you put in your body, how you take care of yourself as well. I remember when my acne was at its worst, it was because I was probably the most stressed. I was not getting a lot of sleep at all. I just didn't take care of myself. I wasn't eating well. Meditate, relax, get your 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Girls, even on our periods, we need like 10 hours. If you're talking to a toxic man, cut that out of your life, because that could be the reason why you're breaking out. I'm not even kidding. And I also have oily skin, which means you cannot be putting so much product on your face, because this clogs your pores and builds up more oil. I always put foundation on my hand first and then apply it onto my skin, so I'm not using too much unnecessary product. Something I've also been so obsessed with this past year is an LED face mask. It produces collagen and it helps with anti-aging, so you're not gonna have as many wrinkles. I wake up the next morning and my skin is so bouncy. It just has so much elasticity. It's plump. It looks young. I recommend investing into that. Now we're gonna be talking about my favorite topic ever, which is hair care. I have had the biggest hair glow up, okay, I will say. I remember in high school, people literally made fun of me from how dead my ends were, how dry my hair was. Whenever I I went to the salon, the person doing my hair would always be just so shocked and tell me like, your hair is dry, you need to fix this. I feel like my hair is probably my best accessory ever, and it really is like one of the first things people notice about you when they see you, which is why I really think hair care should be a top of your priority. So a lot of you guys ask me how to prevent your hair from getting greasy and having dandruff just after one day. And this is another one of those things where I'm going to give you some tips, and it may or may not work for you because we all have very different hair types. I have very thick and stiff Asian hair. In general, you should always be washing your hair with lukewarm water. Do not wash it with hot water, okay? I know us girlies, okay, we don't have a lot of iron and we get cold and we like taking piping hot showers, but that is only going to dry out your hair and increase the dandruff that you get. I also really like hair oiling because it makes your scalp really moisturized. I've always struggled with having a really dry scalp. I remember once I went to get a head massage and they like looked at my scalp and was like, girl, fix it right now. Ever since I started hair oiling, I didn't really ever have that problem again. But I'm also someone whose hair gets very greasy very easily, and honestly, I just wash my hair almost every day. When I was in college, I always heard people say like, oh, you should only be washing your hair like 1 to 2 times a week. That's just not the truth for all of us. How do I grow my hair longer faster? Honestly, not using as much heat on my hair. In order to style my hair now, I always do overnight curls, and I use a silk rod, guys. Do not use socks, because I used socks before, and because of how rough your socks are and it rubs against your hair, it actually makes you lose hair. And I also get my hair trimmed every 3 months. This is what my hairstylist back in New York recommended me. I trust him with my life. Okay, he has really saved my hair. I love you. If you ever go to New York, you should go to For My Hair. Whenever I go get my hair done, I always just do a little trim. You don't have to do anything crazy. The next question is any recommendations to prevent hair loss, which I already recommended you guys using a silk rod instead of any socks if you're doing overnight curls, but also sleeping on a silk pillowcase. I remember when I was sleeping somewhere else while I was traveling, I didn't bring my silk pillowcase, so I had to sleep on like just a regular pillowcase. And I remember I would wake up with my hair feeling just so dry, so stiff. And that is why I always make sure to bring my silk pillowcase everywhere now. If you don't have your silk pillowcase, also get a silk bonnet. I also rarely ever put my hair up. When I go to the gym, I don't even really tie it in a ponytail. I use a claw clip and clip it up. When you put too much tension on your roots and you're constantly tying your hair up, that is what's going to cause hair loss. I use the True Soft shampoo and the Structure Repair mask. I completely stopped using hair conditioner because I realized that hair conditioner was really only drying my hair out. Shampoo is for the scalp and the roots, while hair mask and conditioner is for the ends. What are some scents that make you smell good? There's really only one scent out there in the world that you should be using. It's the Glossier one. If you are just looking for a scent to make you attractive and magnetic, I'm not kidding, it's this one, because I remember the first time I smelled this was when I went to college and I had a friend who was wearing this. This scent is just so strong. It lingers on everything. My boyfriend is obsessed with this. I remember when we first started dating, like I was always spraying this. We were long distance and I remember he was like, I was driving home after dropping you off from the airport and it just made me so sad because I could smell you in my car. In general, the scents I like are a little bit sweeter. They smell kind of sexy, if that makes sense. Like I don't really like fruity smells. So another scent I've been using is this Rare Beauty one. I think it just came out. I also like to put on a good body lotion. The Cocoa Butter Lotion from Nivea. Now we're gonna get into what y'all been waiting for, women's health. We're gonna talk about the kitty, periods, birth control, all of that. And the first question is, what is discharge? I remember I would be in school. Oh my God. Should I mention this? This is like really disgusting, really TMI. I would start getting discharged when I was like in middle school because that was kind of when I got my period. I just like did not know what that was and it was so uncomfortable. I literally like would be in the middle of class like putting my hands in my pants and like grabbing it, like grabbing my discharge. Basically, discharge is, I like to say it's like a cleaning fluid. It's like detergent for your kitty. It is there to clean out all the bad stuff, and it's flushing everything out, flushing all the infections. So actually, discharge is a good thing. Even though it may feel a little bit uncomfortable, it may be weird, it's good for you. So you should be really grateful. Say, thank you, discharge. The amount of discharge you have really depends on what cycle you're in, especially with your period. That's why I said I started getting it when I started my period. It's supposed to smell basically like nothing, maybe a little bit of a scent, but it shouldn't be anything strong, and it should look kind of white or transparent. If your discharge does not have any of those traits, it smells really bad and strong, and it doesn't look white. It looks, maybe it could be like green, mucus, grayish color. Something is up, and it's time to go to your gynecologist. So don't be scared of discharge, okay? It is there to help you. It is there to tell you what's going on with your body and be your friend. Does birth control affect you in the future? Guys, I am so anti-birth control. Now, I understand birth control can help some people. It helps you regulate your hormones. It personally did regulate my period. Like, I get really heavy flow and terrible cramps. So when I was on birth control, it truly like made my cycle so much better. It made my periods more tolerable. But I'm gonna tell you all the other effects I had, and I would much rather have period cramps than the other side effects. My acne was at its all-time peak. I gained so much weight, and I was just always so emotionally triggered. There's also the patch, there's also an IUD. But in general, I personally just don't think I would ever go on any of these things. Now, of course, it does things like prevents you from having a baby if you want to do some sexy time and you don't want to have a baby, but I don't think it's worth it. Like, just wrap it up. How do I prepare for my period? I'm going to answer this in two ways. One being how to prepare for your period if you're someone who's never had your period before, and two, how to prepare for your period if you have your period and you just want to be able to prepare for each cycle better. So if you've never had your period before, I think it's good to know what to do and what to use. It will make you feel a lot more secure and confident when you go into it. Make sure you have those pads and tampons, whatever you want to use, ready for you, and you know how to put them on and how to wear them when you need to. Make sure you buy the good underwear for your periods, because you cannot be wearing a thong on your period, okay? I sometimes will go to Costco and buy like these like giant underwears. Make sure you have extra bed sheets, because I've definitely stained so many of those. Get your heating pads, get Advil, get anything you need to just make sure you are prepared when the time comes. Now, if you're someone who regularly gets your period and you just want to know how do I prepare for it better every time, definitely get some type of period cycle app, because it allows you to know around which time you're gonna have it. I have one, and I feel like the cycle is pretty accurate if you're someone who gets a regular flow. And whenever I see it in my calendar, I make sure to remind myself to keep it a little bit chill that week. Do not stack myself up with plans. Something that I've learned is that it's okay to cancel plans because of your period. Like, that is completely valid. The older I get, I feel like my period affects me a lot more. And I've had friends who have canceled on me because they're like, hey, I just got my period today, I'm not feeling it. Let me tell you, the girlies will understand, because we all get our periods and we all know how it feels. Literally, like last week, I was supposed to have a girls' night with my friend, and we were supposed to do a little sleepover, and I literally just got my period, and the flow was so heavy, you guys. I was like, I do not want to leak on your sheets. My stomach hurts so bad. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to reschedule this. And the final question of this girl talk, I can't believe we're already at the last question. I had so much fun with you guys. How do I look good overall? First of all, it's accepting the fact that you're not gonna look good all the time, every time. I feel like with social media and you see people always at their best, it's very easy to think like, oh, I have to look like this with no makeup, and I have to have like clear skin all the time. But truly, it is just taking care of yourself. Like, mind, body, soul, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort, and you just have to be willing to put that effort in. I just recently moved out of New York at the beginning of this year, and I went back like last week for the US Open. I'm telling you, a lot of my friends were like, Charlize, you are glowing. Like, what have you been doing differently? Because you just look good. And it's truly just taking care of myself more and really taking my time to rest and feel good. I mean, in the mornings, I take it slow. You guys know I love a slow morning. I eat well. I cook for myself, because if you feel good, you're going to radiate that beautiful energy. I think it's very easy to think like it's a lot of this physical stuff that you have to do, which of course that is part of it, but it is just like putting in the effort to take care of your mental health as well. Resting and being at peace. I really hope that all these things I have talked about today helps you guys a little bit. Comment and let me know what topics you want me to talk about next. And also comment and let me know what you guys do to help you feel good and glow up with your feminine hygiene. As much as you guys are learning from me, I am learning from you. So thank you all so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye!